Merciless. It's a shame, really, because when this game first came out and I first got Merciless, I was in love. It was like the best weapon ever. No one could convince me otherwise. I thought it was God's gift to Green Earth, whatever weird and wacky expression you want to use to show your undeniable love and affection for a certain inanimate virtual. Can't be inanimate and virtual, can it? I don't know. But yeah, like, or virtually inanimate. Food for thought. Yeah, it was just, I thought it was like the best thing ever. Absolutely loved it. And then it got changed, i.e. nerfed, and I really love taking grenades to the face. They're my favourite type of food. And since then I basically never really used this weapon again. Then I met the awesomeness that is Rise of Brutality, and he showed me 3-piece striker with Merciless. Don't get me wrong, that build is very, very good. It works beautifully. It solves all of the downsides with Merciless, minus the simple fact that the mechanic on it is a tad clunky. Increases your fire rate so you can build up the explosion stacks a lot quicker. Solves the stability problem so that you're actually accurate and can genuinely get your explosion stacks rather than trying to shoot pigeons just because you pulled the trigger. But it got me thinking. Lately I've done a lot of experiments with 3-piece Overlord, 3-piece Fenris, 3-piece Petrov, blah blah blah. I've done videos on it. If you want to watch, go watch. If not, it's up to you. So I thought there could potentially be, because Strikers is mainly all about fire rate and handling, and all of the damage essentially comes from building up those useless stacks you get on the 4-piece. But what if we could get around the handling and stability and accuracy problems by using other sets? So I've put this wondrous little thing together. This does about double the DPS of the Striker set, simply because it hits a lot harder. On average, the previous build did about 420,000 damage. This hits about 760, and the explosion goes from doing like 2 million, and then now the explosion does like 5 million. So as long as you are getting a consistent amount of damage output, you are pretty much fine in terms of damage. The only thing where this one stutters slightly is the Striker set does still have better stability. This has a tiny jump to it, which can get infuriating, because there have been several times while doing this recording where I would put my bottom dollar, as the Americans like to say, that I have hit that target. I'm 2 feet from them, I'm unloading into them, I've put literally everything, and I'm getting 0 damage numbers. So either the Merciless is bugged or the stability is still a bit mental. There is obviously the very real possibility that my aim is just that bad, but I refuse to believe that. Sadly, the Merciless is still not that damaging. No matter what you do with this, I kind of feel like it is, regardless of how seriously you want to take making a build for this, it is going to be a meme weapon. Although, if you can get some decent stacks off on a target, a single enemy, in around a group of enemies, you can do some seriously hefty chunk damage. But yeah, the Merciless is still just a bit sort of... It's not a bad weapon, there are just too many better options, essentially. And overall, I don't want to say it's not worth it, because I really like using it. I find it really, really fun. But it just... Get a lightweight M4 or an M1A and you're just going to be so much better off. So just to show some of the chunk damage, just so that we can actually get some stacks up. That's the another annoying thing. You basically only really get your stacks on elites. anything else just kind of dies really too quick, because it is still quite a powerful rifle due to the fire rate. But yeah, just to show the chunk damage, we're just going to chew through those guys. And as for the actual overall DPS, which still is quite low in comparison to most other decent rifles, but burn through this, we comfortably get to about 5 mil cruising, but that's only because of the explosion. So we'll drop down to like high 3s, low 4s, and then we get the explosion and it pops back up again into the 5s. So most of your damage really is coming from that explosion, and if you're looking at shooting a lot of reds, you're not going to get it too often. You're mainly going to be focusing on elites just to get the explosion and hope you can catch a few reds in the explosion while you're going. Anyway, let's have a look at this very, very oddly set up, because it is odd. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Let's have a look at the build. So obviously we are running Gunner, just because the Merciless still suffers from low ammo capacity with not that great a damage. So yeah. So we're using the Gunner for 1, the armor on kill, and 2, the ammo return. Merciless itself it's got pretty good RPM, mag size of 30, and basically we got a duplex trigger. After 7 duplex trigger shots we get a boom. The stability, as you could see, was still quite low. We are running 3-piece Overlord. This gives us rifle damage, 20% accuracy and 10% weapon handling. Crit damage, crit chance all over the place, apart from the knees, which are the lovely, lovely Fox's Prayer. And then we're running Contractor's Gloves just to help us out with some armor. Problem here is 2-piece Petrov is another 10% weapon handling, so we're running 2-piece Petrov. I did look into doing 2-piece Douglas and Harding for 20% stability. Didn't work out as well as I thought. This is honestly the better option, just because it helps with your accuracy as well. Using weapon handling also increases your reload speed, etc, etc, etc. And then for the backpack we're running Walker and Harris for more weapon damage. This also increases your explosion damage, because that is based off of your weapon damage. I did do a little bit of research to see if China Light would help here, using rolling it red, but overall as the DPS increases, like the more you fire, Walker and Harris turned out to be a good chunk more damage, 5% in fact, because not only are you increasing the explosion damage by 5%, you're also increasing all of your shots, whether they crit or not, by 5%. So it just generally worked out more. But yeah, this is just a bit of a weird and wacky build that I have put together. I quite like it, it's quite fun. And it works, it really does work. Anyway, have fun, good luck, don't die, it's bad for the health.